when I look around and I'm wondering like, why is everybody so burnt out? Why are more and more people on chronic leave?
We talk about the different types of power, and we don't often talk enough about systemic power, but it's probably the conversation that we need to be having more of is the systems that and the structures that we've built really influence how any individual business owner in this case or leader can show up and use their power, because there's expectations that the system places and a narrative and a story that the system has about what leadership is or isn't, or what good business is or isn't, and anything that gets distilled down to like your profit margin as the thing, like we see it in corporations where they lay off thousands of people and their share price goes up and shareholders make a bunch of money. Like, you have to question that model around the extractive nature of that, where we're just extracting value and then consolidating that value in people that already have a ton of power. So that's systemic. We have to tease that apart and we have to talk about that and include it in the conversation, because it has an impact on the individual leaders and business owners and how we show up. So there's the extractive nature of capitalism at large, and then there's the individualism, right? And you put those two things together and all of a sudden you've lost the village to contribute. So you have to pay for all of these things. So you have to work harder to make more money. You have to extract more value from the system for yourself. And so the issue with systems is that there's like multiple things happening. There's multiple narratives and stories that all intersect to create this experience that we're having of Western capitalism at this point in time. And so for sure, there's a definite need, I think, to question these stories and narratives, to look at them a bit more closely and say, is this the way, or do we need to build a more mutualism and reciprocity into our systems as opposed to this individualism? I often talk about hyper-individualism. Like we live in a very individualistic time and space right now.
I think when we become more conscious about how we're using power, we can start to realize the impact of some of the ways of working that might be extractive.